What up, y'all? It's Ro back with another video. In the previous video, we went about creating an accent wall and adding a GFCI outlet. So in today's video, we're going to be creating some floating shells. I've never done this before, and we're going to be trying this for the first time. All right, we're going to be attempting to create some floating shells. So let's get into the video. The wood that I'm using is pine to create these floating shells. I've never created floating shells before, and I've looked at a bunch of tutorials and a couple other people, and I'm like, I might be able to do this. More like my wife is like, you think you could do this? And I'm like, let me show you. Yeah, I can do this. So we'll see how this goes. Right now, I'm drawing the layout of my shelf. There's 3 pieces to this shelf. There's a top, a bottom, and a front side. After I finish drawing all my pieces for my shelf, now it's time to cut them out. I'm using a jigsaw to cut this out. It was a lot easier for me to use a jigsaw than any other tools that I have. You can see in this process the front side of this shelf is pretty small. It's less than 3 inches, like 2.5 inches. So I need to make sure that I can get like a really tight cut, and this jigsaw allowed me to do that. After cutting the first shelf, now it's on to cutting out the second shelf. So it's the same process, drawing out the layout of the shelf and then cutting all 3 pieces out. Once again, guys, you always hear me, take your time. Take your time when you're doing this process. You guys remember when I say measure twice or 3 times? I still haven't learned my lesson. I keep measuring once and cutting once. So let's see if this thing actually fits. After I cut out all my pieces, now I'm using my table saw to just trim down my shelf pieces. Just making sure that they're smooth. I could have used the table saw in the beginning, but as you see, that boy is not stable at all, and I'm trying to figure out how to stabilize that thing. Now, there was a tricky part in this process. It was cutting out and trimming out the front side of the shelves. Earlier, I used the jigsaw to cut out the front side of the shelf, and that was just one side of it. So I had to put together some scrap wood in order to be able to try and cut out this front side of the shelf. I used my nail gun to attach the front side of the shelf to these scrap pieces. The reason for that is because I wanted to make sure that it was thick enough so I can be able to push it through the table saw. Seriously, y'all, I am not 100% confident in this table saw. I haven't used it that much, so I'm not 100% confident in using it. But at the end of the day, I needed to find a solution to be able to cut these pieces, and the table saw was the best one. So, gotta overcome my fear and make sure I do it very, very carefully to get the results that I want. Now we made it to the installation part of these shelves. I'm pretty excited about this part because all that work of drawing it out and, cutting it out, now it's time to actually put it together to see how it actually looks. I grabbed some 1x2s, and not 1x2 feet, but like 1 inch by 2 inch pieces of wood. These pieces of wood are my structural pieces for my shelves. They're going to be drilled directly into the wall to add as structural support for my shelves. I'm pre-drilling each piece of wood so that when I insert the screws into the wood, that it's not going to split. Like, this is super helpful. Obviously, I did it before. I did it off camera and it split my wood, and I was like, I got to do something else. That's why I decided to pre-drill all my wood. Now it's time to attach my structural support to the walls. I'm making sure that I am hitting a stud, and if I don't hit a stud, I'm putting a little anchor inside to be able to drill these screws into the wall. It's time to start making this look like a shelf. So I'm attaching the top piece, the bottom piece, and I'm using my nail gun to attach to the pieces of wood that we drilled into the wall, so it's not going to move, shift, or anything else. At this point, I'm just checking to make sure everything, and I noticed that the middle section of these shelves is kind of like bouncing together. So I grabbed an extra piece of scrap wood and put it in between it so it wouldn't bend or bow or anything. And that worked out really well. It also gave me some more support to attach this front facing piece of the shelf to. Now we're on to the second shelf. It's the same process, making sure that I'm drilling directly into the studs for structural support. And also, I didn't add in the last part, I'm using this level to make sure that each piece is level with each other. We don't want this shelf to be lopsided. So I'm making sure that my back piece is straight first, and then I'm using the back piece as a point to go off to level off each side of these shelves. I decided to use wood glue to attach the front face of these shelves. Right now, I'm attaching glue to the front piece and also the top and the bottom piece. I don't know if I said this earlier, but I cut each piece at a 45-degree angle, so the front will have a really tight fit. After I apply the glue, now it's time to attach it to the shelf. I decided to also add some tape to the shelves so it doesn't shift or move. I've seen this method done before, so I decided to try it out. Alright guys, this is the final installation of this piece. Biggest thing I gotta do now is to fill the gaps. I got a bunch of gaps in between these areas. So I'm gonna fill them with sawdust and then glue and sawdust and put it in these gaps and crevices. I gotta fill the nail holes as well with some sawdust and some glue and just like keep going from there. But yeah guys, this is what it is so far. Pretty nice, great idea. My wife told me to do this, so got a shout out to my wife. Thank you babe for telling me to do this. This is a great idea. And yeah, let's just continue on guys. Before we get started on that, remember how I said I cut once and measure once? Yeah, please learn from me, because I be trash at times, okay guys? I be trash. So I cut my shelves a little bit too short. So I need to kind of put some filler pieces in to allow the shelves to butt up against the wall. So instead of doing this guys, just make sure you measure multiple times and cut once, so you don't have to do what I'm doing and trying to put in skinny pieces in between each side so they can hold up. Overall it worked out, but I would say definitely measure 13 times and cut once. Shoot. Now it's on to filling these holes and sanding these floating shelves. So what I'm using to fill these holes is just a natural wood filler, and what I used in between the joints of the wood is sawdust and wood glue. That allowed me to blend all the pieces together. I'm finishing up the final sanding of these shelves. I'm wiping it down with just a damp cloth so we can get prepared to polyurethane these shelves. After sanding and wiping down these shelves, these are what the shelves look like at its rawest form. Finally, we made it to the point of polyurethaning these shelves. Some people might wonder, why didn't I stain these shelves darker? Why didn't I give it a darker, more natural tone to it or something? So what I'm trying to do specifically is, so I wanted the pine wood shelves to match the double vanity color and look. It took me the longest time to figure out that polyurethane was going to give me the best results to matching the double vanity. I tried staining it different colors. I had too much red, then I had too much yellow, and then too dark colors, and I was like, no, this is not working. Like I literally tried a bunch of different stains and it did not work out the way that I wanted it to. And eventually I landed on polyurethane, which brings out the natural color of the wood naturally. It just brings it out. And that's the exact result that I was looking for, so it can match the double vanity. And finally, we made it to this point. And here is the final reveal of the shelves. So they turned out pretty well, guys. Like I said, this is my first time, and I'm pretty excited and happy about the results that I received from these. Like, it could have been better. Yes, we already know I could have measured 16 times and cut once, but this is the result, and it's not too bad. It's not too bad, guys. So will I ever do this again? Yes, I will definitely do another set of floating shelves. Don't know where, only where my wife tells me to. It looks really nice, guys. I'm super happy, super excited. I'm super excited about this because it turned out really, really nice. So once again, guys, learn from me, learn from my mistakes, learn from all the things that I didn't do right, and also all the things that I did do right, and go create your own floating shelves. Let me know what you guys think about this video. Let me know what you guys think about this content. I think that's all I got, guys. So thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure you comment in the comment section, like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on. And until next time, I will see you in the next video.